I'm back with another episode of Jock Talk. I'm with Jono Barnes, who works with Boot Crew Media. Big Saints fan. You always see him on social media yelling at the TV when we lose. When we win, it's good. How you doing today?
Man, I'm doing great. We are in the final days of the offseason before preseason starts in about a month. So I'm just enjoying that my sanity is at 100% for the final month before the action begins.
Hopefully it's good too. Hopefully the action's good.
I hope we deserve it.
We need it after a tough years.
Yes,
Okay,
indeed.
let's discuss through the ups and downs of the past year. What is your favorite moment? Because we've had bad seasons, we've had good seasons. I want to see what your favorite moment is.
I would think that 2-0 start 2 seasons ago was probably the best moment and the best that the Saints fans have felt since Drew Brees retired, because we thought, hey, maybe we actually are on the verge of something significant, not like Super Bowl or anything, but maybe at least a playoff team. So that's probably going to be, as far as looking back post Drew Brees up until Shough hopefully continues to ascend. What I look back on as my favorite moment was that 2-0 start in 2024. I actually went to that game in Dallas, and that was a fun road game because, we dominated from beginning to end. And, that's actually how Lil Jono was born. So it was a great time in Dallas. We had a lot of fun. And the Saints fans took over that stadium. So it was great memories. Unfortunately, we all know what happened after that 2-0 start. The wheels fell off the bus.
We lost so many games.
Yeah, there's not many highlights to look at in the past few years, but I do think that those 2 weeks was weeks full of bliss. And I will always cherish them, even though they didn't really amount to anything long term.
Yeah, he just kept on running, kept on hurting his shoulder every time, so couldn't really do much.
Absolutely.
My favorite moment was when Shough came in. I thought he should have started from the beginning of the season.
Interesting.
But he really impressed me. I think he's going to be the future, the star of the future.
We can only hope, Colin. We can only hope. And, I was also on the side of starting him right away, but I understood the argument of letting him kind of learn from the sidelines. It seems to have benefited him. But we all knew, even when Rattler was named the starter, that eventually Shough was going to become the guy. You don't draft a guy that high and not plan for him to start. So even though a lot of the Rattler stands got mad at me for pointing out that obvious fact when Rattler was named starter, everything that's kind of come to fruition. And what I did not plan for was Shough to be as good as he has been. So I hope that he continues to prove me wrong and a lot of other Saints fans wrong as well on that part.
I hope he proves everyone wrong. Hopefully he has a big year this year.
Absolutely.
Who you looking towards to watch this year?
I'm looking forward to seeing what Travis Etienne can do and Kellen Moore's system. We saw how Saquon Barkley had his best year with Kellen Moore, and then last year he kind of came back down to reality with Kellen Moore gone. So I'm not saying I expect Travis Etienne to rush for 2,000 yards, but I do think that Travis Etienne can possibly have a career year under Kellen Moore's tutelage, and I think that Kellen Moore has a clearer vision for Travis Etienne. So I'm very interested to see how he implements Travis Etienne in his offensive system this season.
I'm excited to see Travis Etienne too, but I'm really excited to see how Jordan Tyson or Devon Vele plays out. We saw a little bit. We saw a little bit of Devon Vele last year, but I think he could be a stud. He's athletic. He's tall. He can catch anything.
Yeah.
Then Jordan Tyson's just explosive. I had Will Clapp on my show, and that one's coming out on tomorrow. And
you get all the bit. I feel bad. Wait, do me a favor. Put me before the Will Clapp, because you got Mitch Robinson, Will Clapp, then you got Jono Barnes. Everybody gonna be like, wow, what a downgrade.
All right, I will. Well, I got Will Clapp, and he said he's only doing he's regrouping that hamstring injury, and he's only doing small things, but he looks very explosive. So I can't wait. I can't wait to watch him. Hopefully, it's the duo we've been waiting for after Michael Thomas left.
Let's hope, man, because that wide receiver core looks like it has a lot of potential. And with Devon, he'll be technically the number 3 receiver behind Olave and Tyson. So there's a chance that he can get a lot of good looks his way. You would think with the secondary focusing on Olave and Tyson. I can't wait to see what happens.
Oh, same. I'm so excited. Are you a believer that Shough makes a big improvement this year?
Oh, absolutely. And I hope he does, because I had a very prominent video reaction of him being drafted where I was not happy, to say the least. And I love that he proved me wrong, and I hope that he continues to prove me wrong. And I've been drinking the Kool-Aid all offseason. So, until he gives us a reason to not believe that he's going to ascend or to be our future franchise, not future, present franchise quarterback. I believe that he's going to have a big year, and I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I am drinking it heavy.
Who do you think we should have drafted over him? What was your thoughts? Because I thought we should have took Shedeur.
So in the video when I posted my reaction, I was like, well, take Shedeur. Like, if you're going to take a quarterback, and it's not that I'm a Shedeur believer or anything like that. I wasn't like this hardcore Shedeur Sanders guy. I just, shows how little I know. I'm like, well, I'm looking at their college career. Shedeur had a way better college career than Tyler. So if we're going to take a quarterback, take the guy who has the better resume. But thank God I'm a fan and not a scout or an analyst or a coach, because obviously Kellen Moore knows a lot more about football and has forgotten more about football than I will ever know, right? So, I'm 2 for 2 with great quarterback takes. Before social media was a thing in 2000. Were you even born in 2006, Colin?
No.
Oh my God, I'm so old. But we signed Drew Brees, and I was mad because I was like, well, wait a minute. We got the number 2 pick in the draft. We could get Vince Shough. We could get Matt Leinart. We could get Jay Cutler. We could get somebody much cheaper with the number 2 pick. And obviously, Drew Brees made me look very stupid for the next 15 years. So all that to say, y'all, if you ever see me with a quarterback take, go the opposite direction, because I'm usually wrong about them.
I'm a big believer in Tyler Shuck's improvement. I think he has so much more ability to his game. I think this year he's going to have so much more time in the pocket to actually throw the ball. Because that O-line stacks. So you got Calvin Banks, you got
Eric McCoy, who's been on my couch before, the absolute legend in Eric McCoy. And then you have you hope that Cesar Ruiz can improve, but David Edwards as well. I mean, that O-line, especially for all of the draft stock that we put into it, should definitely be a top unit in the NFL this season. So I actually think that they will be, and actually they better be. All them draft picks we used on them, they better be.
Then I really hope. I think he's fast. He's faster than Drew Brees. He can bring the run game. So it's going to be very exciting to watch this year.
Let's hope. I hope so. I believe too. What
do you think the running back game will look like with Kamara and Travis Etienne?
So I don't think it's going to be like Mark Ingram and Kamara duo, Deuce McAllister and Reggie Bush duo, which hopefully, Colin, I know you wasn't born for that, but you can hopefully look at the YouTube highlights and see how dynamic that unit was. I honestly don't know if Kamara really fits into Kellen Moore's plan. I mean, obviously, there's been like this weird thing between the Saints and Kamara all offseason. I do believe Kamara at this point will be a Saint in 2026, but I don't think that Kellen Moore plans to really do the 1-2 approach. I think he's going to really lean heavily on Etienne, and he'll have Kamara come out and spell him every now and then. But I expect to see, and not that I don't think that Kamara is not capable of still being a great running back, but I just think that I don't think Kellen Moore has a set vision for him the way he does for Etienne. And these things happen when you have a new head coach. They want to bring their guys in. I was a huge Joe Horn guy who just got inducted into the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame a few weekends ago. One of my favorite Saints ever. And Sean Payne came in, even though Joe Horn still has some gas in the tank, he just wasn't a part of Sean Payne's vision. And it hurt like heck as a kid, because I'm like, how is Joe Horn not a part of your vision, Sean Payne? And after 1 year, Sean Payne let him go. I kind of think that's what Kellen Moore wanted to do with Alvin Kamara, but I guess maybe upper management stepped in and said, nah, we'll keep Kamara. Who knows? I still don't know what's going on with that situation, but I don't think Alvin Kamara is a Kellen Moore guy. I do think Kamara is still going to get snaps. I think that Kamara is still a good player. I think that the Saints are a better team in 2026 with Alvin Kamara than without Alvin Kamara. But I think that it's probably going to mainly be Travis Etienne getting the bulk of the carries and Alvin Kamara having a much more limited role compared to what we used to. But I still think he could be a contributor. And injuries, as we know, kind of happens often in this league, especially with the Saints. So it would be great to have Kamara shut Etienne, knock on wood. But if he does go down for a game or two, we have Alvin Kamara who can come in and easily fill in that void. So I'm expecting a big year for Etienne. I'm expecting Kamara to be a contributor, but not the Alvin Kamara that maybe we still believe that he can be, or that we are used to from his past seasons.
Hopefully, I want the running back duo. Etienne could get all the carries, but when Alvin Kamara is in the game, it's over. I want him to still score touchdowns. I want him to be a friend on the field. maybe do like line 2 running backs up in the field. I want to see
Yeah,
if he
no,
can
I
do
mean,
that. Like 2 backs in the
Kamara,
backfield.
anything is still a good receiver. So I mean, I think Kellen Moore, with his brilliant offensive visionaries, can find a role for Kamara. I just don't think it's going to be as prominent as we are used to. Now, if it ends up being where Kamara is a huge contributor to the Saints, great, because we all love Kamara. But I'm just kind of following the tea leaves and going by my history as a fan. I can kind of see when a new head coach comes in and is like, yeah, I like you, but you're not my guy, the way it's been happening in the past with other teams and with the Saints themselves. So we'll see. That's going to be an interesting storyline in 2026. I'm just glad that Kamara is still the Saint. I hope that he remains the Saint for the whole season.
Hopefully they can be dynamic together.
That's hope. Yeah, we are a better team with Alvin Kamara than without.
What are your expectations for the defense this season? Because our defense is always good.
Yeah, and Brandon Staley did a great job last year. We didn't have necessarily these stud playmakers, and yet we finished top 10 in defense, which still boggles my mind. Like, whoa, you have to look back sometimes and be like, the Saints finished what? Our defense? But Brandon Staley is a really good defensive coordinator. I actually think that we might be a bit on a timer with him. Like, I think the way the defense hopefully continues to play, some team is going to give him another shot to be a head coach. So with Brandon Staley leading the way, I do think our defense is going to be really good this year. I think Chase Shough is going to get his second Pro Bowl nomination, and maybe even possibly, I know this might be a little bold to say, but maybe even some Defensive Player of the Year consideration, because I'm expecting a big year from him. And I think that he is going to lead the way with Brandon Staley's play calling, that the defense should be, I'm not going to say like a, dominant defensive unit or anything like that, but I mean, if they finished top 10 last year, what's to say the reason why they can't finish top 10 this year? We'll see.
I'm interested for the linebacker group. I know we lost to Mario Davis, a bummer, but we got Keon Ellis back. Hopefully,
I think that's kind of underrated signing. I think he's going to be a big part of our defense.
Hopefully, he can be a big leader and a big part to the defense. Also, look at Jonas Sanker's year 2 improvement.
Mm-hmm.
And who people aren't talking about is we just traded for him, the Jacksonville Jaguars edge that we just traded for, like Tyreek Wilson.
Uh-huh.
What do you think about him?
I think the beauty of fandom is, a player who didn't do well on one team comes to your team and you're like, we can save him. We can change him. And sometimes that ends up being the case. Like, DeMario wasn't great with the Jets. He came to the Saints and he became an all-pro player. So I applaud the fans who do think that maybe Tyree Wilson can be something. I have to see it to believe it. But I'm not necessarily acting like that it's impossible for Tyree Wilson to not be a difference maker. I kind of see it in the Marcus Davenport tier. I'm sure the Lions fans, when Marcus Davenport left us, were like, oh, he'll do great with Detroit. We got so much talent that he's going to thrive in Detroit. And Marcus Davenport is still Marcus Davenport. Peyton Turner went to the Cowboys after. Maybe there was some Cowboys fans like, maybe without defense, Peyton Turner is going to become a stud. Well, Peyton Turner is still Peyton Turner. That's usually how it goes. I'm not trying to say that as a knock to Tyree Wilson, but if he proves me wrong on that end, I would love that, because that would be huge for our defensive line. So he has a fresh start. This is almost like a make or break type of year for Tyree Wilson. Like, you don't get that many chances in the NFL to prove yourself. So he has a fresh start, fresh defensive coordinator, fresh defensive scheme. He's got it or he doesn't. I'm looking forward to seeing if he answers that challenge.
Yeah, same. I hope he's really good this year, because if you got him and he's a big dude on defense, can get some sacks. You got him, Chase Young, and Cam Jordan, who you just brought back. And I'll bring up that later.
Carl Granderson too. Yeah, we have a nice little squad, a nice little defensive line squad.
Then, is there someone that you think will stand out the most this year for a team on defense or offensive side?
On defense or offense, I guess I got to go back to Travis Etienne. Like, I just really think that. I think it's just because of what Saquon Barkley did with his 1 year with Kellen Moore. That Etienne, and again, I'm not saying 2,000 yards, but I think that Etienne can have a big year for this team with Kellen Moore calling the plays. So, I'm talking Etienne in fantasy because I think that Etienne is going to play a pivotal part in our offense, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. And I think he's going to be our star player this year on both sides of the ball. So I'm going with Travis Etienne.
Oh, I agree with you, but I'm going to switch some things up. I'm either going to go with Devon Vele. He's going to have a great year this year.
You're really high on Devon, huh? You're really high on him.
I like Devon Vele. Or if I'm going to go on the defensive side, it's going to have to be Chase Young. He's going to be a star this year.
He showed why he was a top 5 pick last
last
year with
year.
the Saints. So I can see Chase Young definitely being, the best player on it. I mean, honestly, he probably was our best player on a whole team last year. So there's no reason to believe that he can't be our best player again this year while he's in his prime.
We're forgetting about the tight ends. Will only the tight ends make a difference, like Oscar Delp or Juwan Johnson?
I don't know if Oscar dealt right away because like even Jimmy Graham, as great as he was, like it took him a year to like really become Jimmy Graham, right? Like not every tight end comes in right away and just dominates. So I have high hopes for Oscar Delp. I just don't think that he's going to come in right away and give us, 500, 600 yards and 50 or 60 catches or anything like that. I think Juwan Johnson is a good player. I know some fans are usually tough on him, especially after the contract. But now that you look at the contracts that's being passed out to tight ends, we almost got Juwan Johnson on a bit of a discount given his stat line last year. So I think Juwan Johnson can hold down the fort while Oscar Delp progresses. And then you have someone like Noah Fant, who I think the Saints are going to use a lot of unique tight end looks in the red zone this year with the tight ends that we have on the squad now. So I'm interested to see how that works out. So, we have Etienne, you got maybe Juwan Johnson, Noah Fant. I'm sure Oscar Delp can still play a small part when the red zone looks. It's going to be interesting to see how Kellen Moore uses his tight ends because we saw in his season with Philadelphia when they won the Super Bowl how prominently he used the Philadelphia Eagles as tight ends led by Dallas Goedert. So I think there's a vision that Kellen Moore has in this year as he has more of his players in the pipeline. He's going to be able to execute it a lot better than he did last year. It's going to be exciting to see.
I hope tight ends get a big use of that because Tyler Shough likes throwing to the tight ends, as you can tell. Got to protect the ball this year, Juwan Johnson. That's all I'm praying for.
And make the big catches when it counts, Juwan.
Yeah. Okay, let's discuss Chase Young. Will he even be better this year, do you think?
I actually do because remember last year he missed the first month of the season with his ongoing issues with his injuries. So I mean, knock on wood, I would hope that he can play 15, 16, maybe even a full 17 game season. And if you add 3 or 4 more games to what he already did last year in just, I believe it was 12 or 11 games. Oh my goodness. Of course he's going to have a much better season. Chase Young is in his prime right now. And again, last season, he showed us why he was a top 5 pick. So man, if he can just keep that up, again, I don't want to be too bold or too fanatical, but there's a chance that he could be mentioned with the candidates for Defensive Player of the Year because he did some great things last year. And if he has a full season this year, and just stay healthy, Chase, stay healthy. We've seen the talent. We've seen that. We know what you can do when you are at your best. The sky can be the limit. So I absolutely think he can have a better year this year if he stays healthy.
Yeah, I think Chase Young can be dominant this year. I think he can
I'm not even mad at that word. I don't use the word dominant loosely because, it's hard to be dominant in the NFL. But Chase Young has that potential of anybody on our team, too. His position, Chase Young can be it.
I think he can get us like 14 sacks this year or even more.
I would not be surprised.
I think he could get us 2 sacks a game, honestly. And
sign me up.
He's so athletic. Like, if he's healthy, you cannot do anything with him. You're just gonna have to get out of his way. That's why he's number 2 pick out of Ohio State because he is athletic and could get in the backfield easily.
It is going, and again, I think Brandon Staley and him work well together. I'm very high on Brandon Staley. So you get Chase Young for a full season, even if he misses a game or 2. I mean, that's still better than what he did last year. So as far as games played, Scott, I think he's at his peak right now. So hopefully we in the next, year, 2, maybe 3, like we get peak Chase Young, and that can be a very dominant player.
What do you think about the re-signing of Cam Jordan? I love it. Brings leadership to the team. He got 10 sacks last year, one of his better seasons in a couple of years.
Yeah, and that's why he's washed, right?
Yeah. Will they bring 10 sacks back again? I want to see. What do you think?
I feel like because every year it's a year he's older. So to think that he can get 10 sacks, I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm not going to expect it out of him. But I am excited and ecstatic to the moon that he is back with the Saints. It just feels right. Him in black and gold. Like I love that he's going to end his career only wearing one uniform, and that was the black and gold. And we have some great Saints legends in our team's history. Drew Brees, Ricky Jackson, Joe Horns, people like that. They have all worn different uniforms at one point or another. Cam Jordan is going to be the best player that we've ever had that only wore a Saints uniform. And so I am very glad that him and the team was able to find a deal that both sides were happy with. and that he can finish his career, which he's saying is probably going to be his last season as a New Orleans Saint. As you mentioned, this is an underrated aspect that I think some fans lose sight of because they're just focused on the field production. His leadership is invaluable, and we still have a young team. And as Tyler and other guys continue to learn how to be leaders, it's nice to have some still veteran leadership like what Kamara and what Cam Jordan can bring to the team as we're kind of at the crossroads between leaving the Sean Payton, Dennis Allen era and really fully going into the Kellen Moore era. I'm glad that we still have some old pillars like Cam Jordan and Alvin Kamara to hold down that leadership fort. So I'm very excited. I think that the Saints, just like with Kamara, are a better team in 2026 with Cam Jordan than without. I'm not expecting a crazy year numbers-wise as far as stats or anything, but I am expecting him to still be a productive player, him to rack up some sacks, him to be a great voice in our locker room, and for hopefully him to at least finish out his NFL career with a playoff appearance. A Super Bowl would be amazing, but I'm not going to count on that. But hopefully we can at least let him go out with a playoff appearance.
Yeah, after not making the playoffs in a while, hopefully he can go out on the right note.
Yeah, so that's pretty, man. That's pretty. He deserves. He's a good guy.
Maybe a Super Bowl appearance like the Patriots did with Drake
You
May's
never
second
know.
year.
Crazier things have happened, for sure. Crazier things have happened.
I think if you look at it, I think we could be one of the better teams in the NFC right now.
It's gonna be tough, I think the Rams are the favorites, and the Rams got a squad, man. Now they got Myles Garrett. Good Lord, have mercy. There's some talent in the NFC with the Seahawks. But anything can happen, and that's what the NFL loves to thrive off of is parity, and they take pride in that. They are the most parity-driven league of all the big sports leagues. And we saw, well, not we, because you wasn't born yet, Cullen, but I saw it, I guess, with other Saints fans in 2006. I mean, the Saints who are 3-13 in 2015. We didn't have a home. Katrina came in and ravaged our city, took away the Superdome. And then 1 year later, we are one half away from making a Super Bowl in Chicago. Like, how crazy is that? It can happen, and it's happened to worse teams than where the Saints are currently at right now. So am I going to predict it? No, but would I be like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened if the Saints did do what the Patriots did last year or what the Saints did in 2006, what the Commanders did a few years ago where they went from a top 5 pick to they were a game away from the Super Bowl. It can happen, and why not us, right, Cutting? Like, if there is going to be a team that does it, why not the New Orleans Saints?
Yeah, because we were good for so many years in a row. The missed call, Minnesota Viking miracle. Yeah.
How old are you for those, Colin?
For the missed call, that was wasn't that like 2019?
The missed call was 2018, 2019. Yep.
So let me see, 2019. It's 2026 right now.
Mm-hmm.
That was like 7 years ago.
So were you able to kind of like?
I was like 8 pounds.
Were you able to comprehend what was going on?
Yes, of course. I started watching sports at an early age. It's the only thing
I love that. I was watching it casually around that time. It wasn't until like maybe my middle school years where I really became like, oh, I'm into this. I want to learn more about it. I'm diehard about it. So but the football guys made you learn it the hard way when it comes to the Saints. Then if you had to watch the no call, the Minnesota Miracle, Drew Brees getting retired by the Bucks, you've earned your stripes. That's for sure, Colin. You've earned your stripes.
Does Kellen Moore unleash the playbook this year? I think he unleashes it. I really do.
Yeah, I think he's a lot more comfortable now than he probably was with Spencer Rattler, with Tyler Shough now at quarterback. So it felt like there was at times that Kellen Moore just didn't trust Spencer Rattler enough that we were running a very vanilla game plan. I think with Tyler Shough, especially with a half a season of games played and a full offseason now, as the guy, there's no quarterback competition or anything this season, that Kellen Moore's going to unleash that playbook, and it's going to be sink or swim for Tyler Shough. And I think we all believe that Tyler Shough is going to swim very well.
I think the offensive playbook's going to look way better than last year. We're going to see so many new things from that playbook. But his playbook, I believe he's one of the best offensive playbooks in the league. I'm not being biased. Give him top 10. Who do you think?
Top 10 for sure.
Who do you think has who's the best playbook, offensive-minded coach in the NFL?
I guess Sean McVay currently. I still am a believer in Sean Payne. I mean, he got them to the AFC Championship. He's making Bo Nix look a lot better than maybe what Bo Nix actually probably should be. So I like the Sean's and Sean McVay and Sean Payton. If I had an answer for 2026, I think Sean McVay is a little bit more modern than what Sean Payton is. But I'm gonna go with Sean McVay. But I think Kellen Moore is definitely in the top 10 offensive minds when it comes to offensive visionaries in the NFL, and he absolutely has a chance, especially with his guy at quarterback now, to climb up that ranking this upcoming season if the Saints and the Saints offense particularly does well.
How many wins do you think we get this season?
I keep going back and forth between 9 and 10. 10 is kind of like me being real optimistic. I think the NFC South is going to be a lot better than people think. I really do. I think all four fan bases have a legitimate reason to believe that they can win the division this year. But I do believe it's going to be our Saints to do it. I don't think the Saints are ready, I guess, if the correct word, to go from 6 wins to 12 or anything like that. But I do think a 3 or 4 game improvement from 2025 is very doable. So I keep going back and forth between 9 and 10. I'm going to just be a full fanatic this offseason and drink the Kool-Aid like I have been. I'm going to go with 10. But if I weren't like watching it with black and gold glasses, I would probably say 9 if I was trying to be unbiased. But because I am biased and because this shit is more than a game, I'm going to go with 10 wins.
I'm going to go with 11 wins.
I'm not mad at that. I hope so.
I really do. I think week 1, they gave us a tough contest, same as
week 1 and 2. Week 1 and 2.
What are we? Why give us this tough contest?
I'm not mad though at that because you want to see right away like how you measure up against the
best, one of the better teams.
And look, to be fair, the Lions and the Ravens did not make the playoffs last year, so we didn't make it either. So technically, we're all couch teams playing in week 1 and 2, but those are obviously 2 of the better franchises of the past few seasons and established contenders when it comes to the NFL. So those first 2 weeks are going to be tough, but 1, I like it because I want to see right away like how we measure up. 2, if we were able to win 1 or even both of those games, I mean, imagine how much momentum that gives us for the rest of the season. But 3, even if we wind up losing both of those games, you got out the way. You still got a long season to go. We were 0-2 in 2017, and then we wind up going 11-5 that year. So get the tough games out the way early, and then do what you got to do the rest of the season.
Like, I think we go 1-1 with the first 2 games. I think we will lose to the Lions and beat the Ravens. That's what I think. Then I think we'll win all the games until we get to the Bengals or the Bears. Like the Bears, Bengals, and Packers. I feel like a tough 3-game stretch right there. So I'd like to see how we do in that stretch. But otherwise, that's like 5 losses right there. That's like 12-5. But I think we can go like 11-6 this year.
I'm not mad at it. From your lips to the football guy's ears, Cullen.
Do we win the division and make the playoffs this year?
Yes.
I say yes too.
Yeah, well, I say hell yes, we do. I'm very optimistic this year. I think it's time. I think it's time for the Saints to be back in the playoffs. I think it's time for us to take our throne at the top of the NFC South. So yes.
I do the same. I think we'll make the playoffs. I think we'll make it by a long shot. Like, I think we'll have a margin to make it by, so it won't be close like the last game. I think we'll make it by like 2 or 3 games. So
I hope so. Again, I think the NFC South is going to be a little bit better than what some fans think, but imagine the content I can get if the NFC South is bad and the Saints are good. So again, Cullen, from your lips to the football guys' ears, I'm all for it.
If we make the playoffs, how far will we get, do you think? Give me at least to the second round. That's all I'm asking for.
That'd be great. Yeah, that'll be awesome. That'll be awesome. Once we in it, then I'm gonna be thinking Super Bowl. I'm gonna be like, hey, we in it, why not us? Right? Like we did the hard part, we made the playoffs. If I was to be realistic, I mean, maybe we go 1 and done, which wouldn't be the worst thing. Like, okay, we climbed another hill in this rebuild of the New Orleans Saints. And then 2027, that's when you can really start saying, okay, we made the playoffs. We've gotten past the rebuild. It's time to start thinking Super Bowl or bust. But for this year to possibly be our first year in the playoffs, I think if we won 1 playoff game, incredible. Throw Kellen Moore parade. But if we did go 1 and done, it wouldn't still be it would hurt, like it would hurt in the moment. Like I don't want to make the playoffs and just to lose. If we make it, I want to go on a run. But when that pain eases and subsides for a while, I'll be able to go, wow, Kellen Moore in his second season has really brought the Saints back to prominence, and I'll be very happy at that reality. So I will say my optimistic side says we will at least get to the divisional round of the playoffs. My non-biased side of the Saints making the playoffs is that we'll probably go one and done, but it will still be a hell of a year for the Who Dat Nation.
I think it will be, and no matter what happens, we'll make the playoffs. That'll be a great year after all the horrible years we had. This year was better than most of the years, but this year is going to be good. I'm really excited to see what we watch. Definitely going to be
good. Shough has given us something to believe in, and that is the best part of being a fan, is having something that you can legitimately have belief and hope in. So
yes. Who do you think is going to make it to the Super Bowl, and who do you think is going to win?
I still haven't sat back and really analyzed my picks for the Super Bowl this year. I think my favorite is the Rams. Once they got Myles Garrett, I was crowning him. So I'm gonna go with the Rams. I hate saying that out loud. Oh my God, I hate saying that out loud. But I mean, Myles Garrett is amazing, and how the Rams were able to get him. And especially if Aaron Donald actually does come back. I know he's been
that's what I was about to say.
Entertaining a daughter, and maybe even trolling, who knows. But good Lord, you got a D-line with Myles Garrett and Aaron Donald. God bless the NFC quarterbacks. Hopefully Tyler Shough doesn't have to run into that duo in the playoffs, because I'm gonna go with the Rams to make the Super Bowl, and I'm gonna go with them to win it. I mean, they just got too much talent for me to not see. I know Seattle fans might get mad and say, "Oh, y'all not putting respect on us," but
I don't think
Myles Garrett is a head of an X factor, Cullen, and that was a hell of a move by the Rams. I'm gonna go with them now. In the AFC, I still don't have a clear-cut favorite on this team is the team to beat in the AFC. I always kind of go with the Bills because I kind of just root for them because they kind of remind me of the Saints. Just those lovable losers that could never actually do it until we finally did it. The Bills are having a tough time actually finally doing it, but the Bills always let me down, man. So I don't know, maybe Sean Payton actually gets over the hump this year and gets the Broncos to actually make the Super Bowl. I don't think the Patriots are going back. Actually, they're going to kind of have a come back down to reality type of season. Not saying they're going to be bad. I just don't think they're going to have another Super Bowl type year. I mean, maybe the Ravens with a new coach unleash Lamar Jackson again, and he does it. Watch out for the Chiefs. If Patrick Mahomes is as healthy as they apparently are saying he is, I thought he was going to be out for at least half the season, but he's apparently really progressing well in his rehab. I mean, the Chiefs, I never count out Patrick Mahomes. And, I know that they aren't as talented in years past, but Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. Now, maybe he has an average season because he's trying to do too much coming from his horrible injury. But that's not a team that I would be surprised at if they ended up being good. So I don't have a clear answer yet for the AFC, Colin, but I do think the Rams are the favorites in the NFC, and that makes me sick. But at least it's not the Falcons.
I think the Rams are the favorites, too. They have Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams. They're going to
Myles Garrett. Garrett. I mean, that move right there was what did it for me. I was like, wow. So I'm gonna go with the Rams. And now, hopefully it's not them because I hate them after what they did to us.
Hopefully it's not them, but it's okay. It's gonna be reality probably. Then
imagine Tyler Shough, beats the Rams in the playoffs with every.
I know that would be really cool.
That's what makes sports, man. And that's why they share more than the game. So you never know. You just hope. You hope.
Then in the AFC, I would I think the Bengals have a shot to make it to the Super Bowl.
Are you a fan of Joe Burrow and Chase? Is that because you mentioned the Bengals when you say the Saints are finally going to lose a game to the Bengals. Are you kind of like a soft spot for the Bengals? Do you?
No, I don't. I don't like Cincinnati at all. I hate Cincinnati.
The Bengals have not made the playoffs in I believe 3 years. So what makes you think this year is going to be different?
I think they can take another step. They got another defensive player they've been looking for. Their O-line's probably way more improved this year. Joe Burrow said it's like his 2019 LSU team at heart. I feel like that's hard to believe.
Yeah.
but he said that on the news, so I'm like, okay, if he's saying that, I think they could be really good.
Time will tell. I mean, I like the band. I'm not like this huge LSU fanatic or Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, I love y'all, but that's a good team to have. So it'll be interesting.
I'm not either. The last question of the show.
No good
How did you come up with this shit is more than a game? I like the shirt too.
My apologies to your parents if they hear you say that word. So actually it was I was doing a skit about the Pelicans. This was during our playoff run in 2019. It was one of the rare moments with the New Orleans Pelicans had the city on fire. And I see you got the Pelicans flag in the back. I love that. The Pelicans aren't obviously as popular in New Orleans as the Saints are.
Hopefully they're good this year. Hopefully they're good.
And
this
I
year.
hope I think we could do a whole nother show about that. Colin, I'm not quite a big believer in state of the franchise right now, but I always exist as a fan for my teams to prove me wrong when I'm being negative. Either way, it was 2019. The Pelicans were doing a great playoff run. I was doing some skits, so I did one skit where I'm playing this fanatical guy, and I didn't say there's shit more than a game. I say it's more than a damn game. But I remember saying it. I was like, oh, that's kind of actually catchy. And then people in the comments of that video were like, you're right, Jono, it is more than a game down here. It is more than a game down here. So the next video I did, which was also another Pelicans video, I say verbatim, there's shit more than a game. And it caught on like wildfire. And it's been a thing ever since. And I love it because it was organic. It wasn't like something that, I preconceived or, went to a marketing agency and said, hey, I need a slogan. Y'all need something to catch on. No, it was organic. And that's what makes the brand, if you will, beautiful, is that it's authentically New Orleans and authentically Louisiana. And I guess if you want to put a sentimental touch to it, my big cousin was in that video that I did when I first said it verbatim. He's since passed away. So I always kind of say that maybe he's looking down and having to put in a few strings, which is why this shit more than the game has become as big as it is. So that's how it was born. And that is how we are going to continue to ride it on out. When I'm long gone, this shit more than the game will forever be a New Orleans and Louisiana staple. So I'm glad that the city and the state love it. And again, Cullen, it's authentic. That's why, it's not a Jonathan Barnes thing. This is what Louisiana is all about. So this
shit is more than a game.
All right, does your parents allow you to say that?
Yes.
All right. Just making sure. You got some cool parents.
What's the picture of you with the Pelicans red shirt on? Did you used to be like a ball boy with the Pelicans?
Oh, yeah. I was a ball boy for the Hornets. That's how old I am, Colin. They were the New Orleans Hornets for a while. Believe it or not, you were born when they were the Pelicans. The New Orleans Hornets / Pelicans for 13 calendar years. I was a ball boy. So, I mean, I've met every superstar you can think of. Kobe, rest his soul. LeBron, Shaq, Steph Curry. I was there for Chris Paul during his time with the Hornets. I was there for Anthony Davis during his era with the Pelicans. I was there for the first year of Zion Williamson. It was an incredible experience. I cannot thank our former, it shouldn't be former, but he is our former now, equipment manager, Big Shot, David Janovich, for giving me the opportunity. And just imagine, because I'm sure that you would love that opportunity. I wish I had the power to make you one. You're just a diehard fan. You're watching all these larger-than-life superstars. You blink your eye one year, and now you are in the locker room, literally like rubbing shoulders with these guys. And the ball boy is an underrated position as far as, the fans wouldn't care about ball boy, but let me tell you something. The ball boy is probably the most access as a team employee you can get because the players have so much trust in you, and you got to earn their trust, but they have so much trust in you to do the things that maybe they wouldn't do to the media or whatnot. And you develop actual friendships with these guys. I was able to go to parties with Chris Paul and Anthony Davis. LeBron James sent some of our ball boys shoes. It's LeBron James. He doesn't have any reason to send Pelicans ball boy shoes, but you get close to these guys and develop some type of rapport with them that it was just incredible. I got to do 2 All-Star games. I met a ton of celebrities, a ton of NBA players, obviously, and it was just a great job. And that's why I'm a little more passionate and maybe even critical to the Pelicans than most, because I know some people still in that building, good people. I want that team to be successful. I want that franchise to be successful. Sometimes I don't think that the higher-ups prioritize the Pelicans the way they do the Saints. But there's no reason why we can't be a competitive basketball team and organization in the city of New Orleans, and the fanaticism for the team would be so much higher if the front office could just build a consistently competitive team. The reason why, I'm about to go on a tangent. I'm sorry, you ain't even ask about that. I was just gonna say the reason why the fandom isn't that high in New Orleans for the Pelicans is that, we make the playoffs one year, then we go 5 years without it. It's hard for the casual fan to get into basketball, man. But there's avenues and pathways to building good teams, even as a small market. Look what Oklahoma City Thunder is doing right now. Why can't the do that? I don't know, but some of it is luck. Like, you got to get an actual legit superstar, which is number 1 pick. I love Zion, but he isn't Wemby. He isn't SGA. So a lot of it is luck. But man, I just think I want the Pelicans to be good, man, especially because I have some stake in that game as a 13-year employee technically with that team. So I know you ain't asked all that, but yes, I was with the Pelicans for 13 years and it was awesome.
When did this shit more than a game? Thanks for coming on. Where can they find you?
As y'all see my name right there, I am Jono Barnes across all platforms. So if you go on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, you search Jono Barnes, I will come up. I say you like the shirt, Colin. Well, you go to www.jonobarnes.com or this shit more than the game.com. You can get the shirt for the low price of $28.03. And hopefully you guys enjoy the content. We like to have fun on my channel. We like to bring out the entertainment aspect of being a fan. But we also do some analysis and commentary and things like that as well. So I think it's going to be a fun football season. And I can't wait to prove to the world that this shit more than the game.
I'm going to have you back on when this shit more than a game and we prove everyone wrong.
You already know, Colin. I got always a yes when you come to inviting me. So I appreciate you having me on your platform, my man.
Thanks for coming on. This is the latest episode of Jock Talk. There will be more to come soon. But Jono Barnes is here with this shit more than a game. Peace.